Complexity completely catch them off guard with the push stall strategy, and
Yeah, and we questioned at the beginning, how serious they were really taking the match. Of course, with Minos not being there, the drafter.
yeah.
And on paper, it seemed like a very trollish lock. For whatever reason, I think Balfagor just has that stigma of, oh, we're going to see a troll game. But,
Yeah.
Balfagor still can be very effective. Obviously, he pushes ridiculously strong. That ultimate, it's a weird thing. You don't want to attack him. He's a tanky hero, but then you also want to take him down because he's taking your racks down with all those minions and stuff. But then if you do a lot of damage to him, you're casting spells, it triggers up that ultimate, and does massive damage in a huge AoE.
Yeah, it's. I've always said when we've seen him every now and then in the meta game and whatnot. I've always said that Balfagor is the ultimate. The Hell on New Earth is pretty much the most epic ultimate in the game. I really think it is as far as the animation goes. The garbage one, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it's as epic.
No way!
I like the original skin, man. No. Just the it literally is Hell on New Earth. Just the big massive explosion.
Come on, he says it's garbage.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, but I think I just like the default skin a little bit better. But anyways, enough about that fun discussion. Let's actually Drop is gone. Oh, there he is. He's back.
We like to troll here at HoNcast.
Let's actually take a quick look at the brackets, because again, a lot of people have questions as far as where exactly this stands. So to give you a better idea, let's actually take a quick look at the actual brackets here to see what this match means, who will move on, and who they'll be playing as a result. So as you can see, complexity, of course, that has not actually happened yet. So update. We're very biased here at HoNcast. We just assume we assume that no.
Oh man, that wasn't me. That was I wouldn't even do that. I mean, you all know I love complexity and all, but not even I would do that.
Okay,
let's take another look.
Okay, so now this is the actual one as it stands. Complexity and Trademark, they are playing here. So of course, we were giving you an example of what could happen. So just throwing it out there. Complexity could win this series, which it's possible. So if they were to win, then of course they would move on to the losers bracket finals. Trademark wins, they do the same. Then obviously Q Squad versus Gary Johnson in the winners finals. Again, we're not too sure exactly what happened with that just yet, but we'll have some information probably after this cast for you guys. But so there you go. There's a look at the brackets, see what we're dealing with. But hey, game number 2, or 3, I should say. Game number 3 has started actually. Tralf, are we ready?
Definitely.
I'm sure you guys are ready at home. Complexity, Trademark Esports, one of the better matchups you can have nowadays for sure. Let's take a look. Game number 3. All right, so, of course, tied at 1 game apiece.
Look at this.
As a result of this, what's going on? What do we got going on?
First lock, Balfagor.
Hey, it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So that's definitely a big part of what got them the victory in that first game. Why not look to maybe run it again? I do kind of wonder maybe that's a little bit of mind games at the same time against Complexity, where you're like, we're going to first lock Balfagor because, we're going to go for an all-in push again. But really, Insania has no plan to do a push strategy, yet Complexity will pick around it.
Yeah.
Next level right there.
What's kind of funny, too, is as we mentioned that last game, he was able to hold on to that Tempest ultimate for a little bit of time. He was very, very low HP.
Yeah.
And Beastheart?
You know what?
Beastheart OP. In fact, we're getting spammed in channel Beastheart. Nerf Beastheart, please. It's simply freaking overpowered. I still think that could have been changed completely if there was a blink.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have even been a problem.
It's one of those situations where it's like, okay, sure, it worked there. That pickup, yes, you could say that was a difference. If you had a portal key, though, would that even happen? Would the game even been over already? Again, there's different ways you can look at it, but to be fair, the Beastheart definitely was, you could argue, made the difference there in that specific situation. So good for Zion, of course, good for tdM. As a result, so here we are. The bands are actually wrapping up now. So to go over the lock pool exactly, we had Balfagor, Keeper, Bubbles, Tempest, Nymphora, Warbeast, actually. And as far as the bands are concerned, let me scroll up a little bit here. The bands, we were looking at Magmus, Fade, Silhouette, and Parasite. We all know B-Kid loves the Parasite, and he's going to ban him right here.
Yep.
Pebbles, the final ban from Insania. We'll see what B-Kid finishes off with here.
Yeah, so much push and jungling so far in that lockpick pool. But anyway, final bans, Pebbles, and then finally Dark Lady for B-Kid. So if you're looking at hard carries, Draconis is available there.
Yeah.
So maybe if they still wanted to go with that Balfagor strat, maybe Draconis isn't the best thing, but they could be doing it again. They're starting off with a support now with Glacius.
Yeah, they're gonna keep Complexity on their toes. You know, again, good Glacius by all means, he could be a part of that, but doesn't guarantee anything at all. So Luna is going to be the first response so far by B-Kid, and obviously not only is Luna just generally just a very powerful support option, of course, as we always refer to, she has a great creep clearing potential. So if they are to face that again, you know, she is very good for that, of course. So B-Kid spending a little bit more time, though, thinking about the second regular pick here. You mentioned, though, that Draconis is in that pool, and he was actually locked last game, not ended up picked up by other team, but I believe even B-Kid wasn't one to lock him last game. So
yeah,
putting the option out there, but definitely a possibility this time around. Moraxis and Aluna, though, are the first two pickups from Complexity here, so strong start for them.
Yeah, they're going to start yet again with the very standard Complexity lineup. Here we go again, guys. We're going to have the Demented Shaman. This is take 2 of Balfagor pushing 101. Yeah, they got the Zephyr plus Glacius. We're probably still going to see something standard from Complexity of Aluna Moraxis mid, then a Suicide plus a Jungle. They could go jungle either Tempest Keeper or War Beast. They could also Suicide. Well, really, two of those. Well, actually, a lot of those heroes, really, now that I think about it. So they have options. Their lineup is going to be standard. tdM's not so much. They have that Zephyr and 3 of the 5 heroes that they used last game.
I'm trying to think of fun heroes that we could see here from Complexity that would just be different, but for to counter kind of a not even a counter strategy like this, but just be effective against it. Nothing standing out to me really. Electrician could be decent.
I still think he'd get kind of owned.
Oh, Torture.
In fact,
actually.
Torture would not be so bad with the spam ability.
Yeah.
But if you're tdM, I actually think that picking Keeper over Balf might be smarter here. I don't think that Complexity is going to take Balfagor. And if they decide that, if they think of that, that would be strong for them. Obviously, the last time they had Tempest and Balfagor, but I think for a straight-up pushing strategy, Keeper just works a lot better. Like, works 10 times better than a Tempest. So we'll have to see what tdM values. I hope that's what they go for, because I think that actually could be solid.
Wait, yeah, would this be the exact same lineup here?
If they pick Tempest and Balfagor.
If they pick Tempest and Balfagor, yeah, they're right. So this actually could be the exact same lineup here for tdM if that's what they want to go for. So. Insania, though, is going to think about it a little bit. Doesn't want to rush into it. Again, as I always like to say, you have that extra time, so definitely use it. Always be cautious of how much exactly, but definitely use that extra time. Make sure you're making the right decision, and then move on with it. But, yeah, the potential is most certainly there for tdM that, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type mentality. They could definitely go for that. So Complexity, you know, with that, there we go. There's the Tempest pick.
Man. They're going to do it.
We're very likely going to see a Balfagor final pick here. Complexity, so what? You got your Bubbles Keeper, Bubbles War Beast?
They meant to pick Keeper, apparently.
How do you, what?
I don't know.
Well, that's on Complexity. It honestly is. If they're fine with, if they want to remake again, that's completely up to the teams, of course. But that ultimately is on Complexity whether or not they want to agree to allowing them to do that.
It's automatic, isn't it?
Server. Well, he's saying he wants it to be a public game, which you technically shouldn't be doing for HoN Tour. So here we go. Here's a good old drama going to be taking place. Why not? It's game 3, right?
Funny thing to note, Moon didn't want them to, and apparently Beacon's okay, and some of the team is okay with that. But I personally, I don't think it's a problem because they had extra time on top of that, and there's no pick coming out from Complexity, so I don't think it's a big deal, honestly.
Yeah.
I picked a Keeper, fine. You pick Keeper. It's not like we picked a hero and then you're like, oh, I meant to pick Keeper, or if you ran out of time.
Yeah.
Running out of time would be a different story.
It's different, exactly. Well, they go Warbeast Bubbles, actually, as their pick. So I assume we are going to stay in this one, as it seems like Limp in the end. If you don't want to remake, we'll keep going. So, okay. So, apparently, well, there you go right there. That's happening. But, so we got the final pick going to be coming out right here. We'll see what it ends up being. So, I guess technically that should be Keeper of the Forest then, if that's if we are going to be remaking here. And that means that they could still pick Tempest if they really wanted to. They could just pick Keeper here, yeah. Would it really matter? We'll take Tempest. Okay, what is going on now? See, now everyone's all confused. This is what happens.
Beacon?
You can all have to. 1 all 3. We just want all those heroes. He selects Balfagor, but again, I'm going to stay away from saying that's for certain until we I absolutely know what the hell is going on right here. Okay, apparently, you saying play this, play this up to you. Okay, they're playing. Corn and Sania, they're playing. B-Kid's saying they can remake. I just play it. Let's just play it, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. They're
and the last second, it's like remake.
I like how he says, shout out to another fun game regardless, Falcon. But remake.
Yeah.
Remake.
Oh, boy. Okay, so it looks like we are going to remake now in the end. So I'll go ahead and do that real quickly. So I'm interested here to see. So I'm guessing that means they have Keeper. But then B-Kid there was like, so we want Tempest. So does that mean they're actually going Tempest as well as Bubbles? Or
I have no idea.
War Beast? I don't know.
He wanted all three. He wanted the 6v5.
Wanted a 6-man lineup, just because. So we're gonna have to wait for them to go ahead and remake real quickly. It's they're in the lobby, or at least in the HoN Tour lobby. So gonna go ahead and rejoin and get this match started. They have 10 seconds to actually start it according to the timer. I wonder if it's actually gonna get started in time. It's probably not gonna be started in time. 2-1.
Why did they
just?
Be
okay, that's okay.
Sweet.
We have time. Thank God. That timer, man, it always gets me. It's like, crowd time's about to run out. 30 more minutes. Never mind. We're still good.
Yep.
All right, so Insania is just waiting on him. Or no, somebody left here from Complexity. Who was that? That was Hexerin. Yeah. He's telling him to go. I guess he actually probably.
I think they're making this way more confusing than they need to be.
Than it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. What is going on here? It's gonna be fun if they end up with like the same heroes, and the other like, wait, why did we remake?
Yep.
They make it think it's way too difficult here. All right, so as you can see, we are loading back in now to game number 3.
I don't think it would go to
It
East.
wouldn't. It stays on the same location. That's the only reason we remade. It was apparently because B-Kid was hoping that it would go back to US East. I love B-Kid. Rampage, Jeremiah, Arachna, Kronos here are the blind bands, typical stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously, again, you just cross your fingers that we don't have any issues here as far as the actual locks.
It's gonna happen. I will watch it.
Don't say that.
Because he picked Zephyr before, so they have to make sure they don't lock more heroes that are theirs. Look at.
See, we saw last game.
Oh no, they can't lock any more of the heroes that they chose.
So lock like Deadwood here. Lock something that you did not pick.
Right.
Yes. Just please, Beacon. Please.
Oh,
don't
boy.
screw this up.
Okay, good.
All right. We got Pestilence and Andromeda. All right. Those two were not played, so that's good. Now don't ban. Now don't ban any of the heroes that were picked. That should be really obvious, but again,
yeah, I know.
it should be obvious. Okay, we made it through that
fun
phase.
heroes, by the way.
Yeah, well, Geomancer. I know B-Kid actually loves Geomancer.
Yeah, Flint Beastwood's my favorite hero in the game right now.
Oh, really?
Actually, no, Revenant is.
Yeah, Revenant's pretty awesome.
I like Revenant.
Okay, there's Dimension Shaman. We're getting on to B-Kid. He's thinking about it. Torch for Moraxis. That's looking good so far. Who do they have? They had, so they need to pick up, Keeper and Balfagor. Okay.
And then they had Glacius. Yeah, there's the Luna, Glacius Zephyr, and then War Beast Bubbles. All right, we're good. We're good.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. See B-Kid wanted to figure it out. Okay, so there's the Glacius. Now they get War Beast Bubbles. Okay, we made it. Do not misclick here. Just pick the Zephyr and we'll be good. That's all that matters. Okay, we made it. We made it. We made it.
We did it.
Game number 3. Not going to be delayed any further here. It looks like we are actually going to get into playing it now.
Yep.
Between Complexity and tdM. So here we are. The suspense is killing me.
Hey,
what's that?
I was going to say, I don't know about you, but does it seem like a bit of a troll game to you? I don't know. It just seems like a troll game to me, just a little bit.
Like I say, in a sense, obviously this isn't even the tdM starting 5, and with the difference that is on the line, it is pretty minimal. Let's be honest, especially like I said, 2nd through 4th place. Sure, 1st place, it's a decent amount more money, but with how much money they're going to be competing for in the end, it's like it's not really the biggest amount. So. Yeah, kind of going off what you're saying, though, I do think it's safe to say that both of these teams are really, not taking this fully seriously.
Yeah.
By any means. But go figure we'd have a pause here after all of that.
Yeah.
Start things off. But
yeah,
hey.
but we're probably going to see, if we're looking at this seriously, probably going to look at a Luna Miraxis mid, no question about that. Warbeast in the jungle. Bubble's already making his way towards the bottom lane to get that ward sight down to block that pull. And then, of course, that leaves Torture to solo top in the short lane. Now for tdM, well, the Keeper changes things just a little bit. So are you going to man up with a DS Balf yet again? And then, no, you're going to have to go...
Keeper mid. Why not?
You're going to have to go Keeper mid.
Let's do it.
Let's
I can do it. He did Tempest mid last
I
game,
actually
worked
think
out
Keeper
very
mid's
well.
not that bad, to be honest. But maybe
I think
against 2, actually not that bad because you're pretty tanky.
I loved Keeper mid before honestly all the changes happened. Where it was to where he had the eye that he could put up in the trees, and he actually just had the straight up armor and stuff, and the longer route. So I personally liked it even better when it was pre-change. But now the thing is, if he does go, okay, he does get.
Well, the thing is like they merged 2 of his skills together.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really matters. I think he's even stronger
I guess
now.
you know what? I don't know why I said that, because that's actually very true. I think he actually.
His eyes were pretty, as
maybe
Pew, as S2 Diva would say, it's pretty well fair.
The eyes were amazing.
They were pretty well
It
fair.
was a free ward off the bat. You just eye the rune.
It was.
You don't
You
even
can do that once every 15 minutes.
It is a very long cooldown. I actually love the before Keeper, but yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, that's actually very, very true. I think the Nature's Veil is ultimately actually stronger in a sense, and
it's amazing.
yeah, if he was to go solo mid, going Q stats would actually be very powerful, you would think. But again, you also have to keep in mind though they are going to be running more of a push style strategy, and the last thing you want to do is not have your minions as Keeper the Forest with that. So
Yeah. Well, no, it looks like they are going to go Suicide Keeper.
okay.
They're going to set up with DS and Demented Shaman. Why did I say Cthulhu Font?
Cthulhu Font.
Demented Shaman and Garbagor in the mid lane, and then of course Glacius and Zephyr in the bottom lane yet again, or their short lane, I should say.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a Keeper versus a Torturer just straight up, and hopefully Zai, for his sake, he's able to get a shield, I think, early on. That's going to mitigate a lot of auto attack damage. That's probably going to be coming out from that Torturer, who wants to do a lot of auto attack damage and just harass him and whittle him down. But yeah, the only thing about this is that Warbeast is going to get pretty much uncontested free farm. And if this is a passive game, that's definitely going to favor complexity.
Yeah. If this is a passive game, are you kidding me? This is not going to be a passive game. As we saw last game. No, you're all right, though, obviously. If it does happen to be that, then perhaps. Zai, God, this just shows how much he plays this role, especially, playing to keep it the Forest even. He perfectly timed the Tree Dogs up here with the creep wave. As far as right as it passed the first tower, he had his Tree Dogs up here blocking it as soon as it did, and eventually got the lane, kind of, well, as we see here, somewhat in his favor even. So just very, very good start for him. Obviously, that's what we see all the time. But Torturer versus Keeper. Torturer should obviously have a very good time, I would think. Being played by Haxrin. So, I mean, this series, Haxrin has been staying away from the hard carry hero role. He's more of a intelligence going from Hags to Torturer. So,
yeah, and this lineup I think is fine too. You're going to have, actually, in the meantime, I was just talking about Bubbles, but Bubbles to help out. He can maybe do stuff very effectively in the late game. You're going to have a strong initiation between him and Miraxis when Miraxis picks up
Bubbles may die. Mumeter may die. Bloodlust. Oh, one more auto attack. Pallet. Can he get the Bloodlust out of Bubbles? Oh, the shell serve away. Yes, he'll maximum range port it, and he will survive. Wow. I am surprised how Mumeter nearly died there, actually. How long he stuck in against that Glacius.
Yeah, it's really good for him. And good job by Noobg. As soon as he gets those last hits, he's expending those tornadoes. He does not want to push the lane up. He wants that lane control. If only he can give those tornadoes to his good buddy Glacius, who lost a lot of HP right there. But good job by Pallet keeping Bubbles out. In the meantime, Bubbles going to find something to do. He's going to camp this bottom rune and at the same time stack those Ancients. The rune, unfortunately, will spawn top, but Franzi's up there and he has a haste rune.
Yeah.
It always seems to spawn haste for him. I'm not going to lie. It always seems to be a haste that spawns for Franzi.
He's good at controlling the spawn of the runes. That's Franzi. Boo's picked up a Keeper the Force right there, so we're going over to the side shop and will continue to be in the lane. But yeah, Balfagor versus Miraxis here in Z middle lane. Currently we have Balfagor 11-3, Miraxis 4-1. I think it's safe to say Balfagor is winning this matchup so far here in the middle lane. Again, it is a very powerful combination, especially with those minions. It could provide a lot of harassment. But does it surprise you maybe a little bit that how far ahead he is actually early on?
Yeah, it does actually. I think Balfagor's, Miraxis' animation is just a little bit better. I will say that Miraxis doesn't have a shield, but he hasn't been taking really any auto attack damage, so that doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm actually surprised. Lim doing a fantastic job here in the middle lane.
Yeah.
And, you know what it is? It's simply just the fact that he can get heal bombed at any second because Miraxis isn't melee.
Yeah.
So Miraxis has to play a little bit more careful.
That's true. That's definitely the threat that Dimension Shaman no doubt brings to the lane setup. And, of course, Dimension Shaman not going any into Entangle, you know, with this lineup especially, even being partnered with Balfagor, it doesn't seem like that would be the most ideal route. Instead, he goes level 2 Healing Wave, level 1 Unbreakable. And it will honestly probably just keep those up. So, yeah, makes sense there. Chessie doing his thing on Warbeast here in the jungle, just continuing to farm away. Ooh, he takes the stomp right there, but not the worst deal in the world. He'll go ahead and finish off the Minotaur and continue to farm with it. Bubbles at the bottom side. He's still level 1, actually. And look at Pallet once again going to come in here, apply an auto attack or two, and get him to fall back. So,
and look, he's just hiding afterwards.
Yeah.
Well played by Pallet.
Yeah, making some big plays right there indeed. So Moomy entered, and he can't get anything going down here. At least we see him get something, but...
Top lane, Zai dropped very, very low. I didn't see it because I was watching the bottom, but all that pressure from Torture is paying off. And in the meantime, actually, Zai not getting bad farm. 19-1 against 21 or 22-1.
Jeez,
Torture.
Yeah. Very good, actually. So, again, Zai, great suicide role player. Just a great player in general, and showing why once again right here. So, Limpto and Balfagor, he too is looking good. So, kind of similar to the last game. I mean, they have 3 heroes that are really doing very well here early on. And Keeper of the Forest, Balfagor, and Zephyr, actually, for Legion team. Now, Torture is actually up there as well with the best of them, but it does start to drop down a little bit for Complexity. As that, it pushes on. But, again, just like the last game as well, I'm very curious to see when we start seeing a little bit of a push happening coming out from tdM. Is it going to be very, very early on or maybe a little slightly delayed this time around? But top lane, Keeper of the Forest continuing to go at it with Torturer. You see him taking the chain reaction stun right there. Zai dropped pretty low. He's still playing very aggressive, though, and realizing that Torturer doesn't have any mana. Maybe that's the reason. So, but paying attention. So, good presence of mind there.
Yeah, I wonder when Zai's going to hit level 6, because he could actually maybe get a kill on Torturer solo up here if he hits level 6 here pretty quickly. Torture doesn't have... Actually, Torture does have a little bit more regen, so yeah, it's not going to be able to be a kill for sure. But yeah, he's doing very well. 25-1 compared to 26-2. Does just ding level 6. Oh, yep.
Moraxis going to fall. Yes, the Bloodlust Kill going to come out in favor of Limp. And Moraxis was just a little bit delayed right there as far as his Arcane Shield went. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Moomiander going down. He's still level 1. He's level 2, but he falls right there as the Typhoon comes out and gets the kill. So Beacon, unfortunately, again, he was a little bit delayed on that W with the Arcane Shield, and as a result, he got frozen, and we saw the end result. So, but Balfagor, before that even happened, he was actually blocking him with the corpses, as this combination does with Demented Shaman Balfagor, and it sets up the kill. So very good start here yet again for Trademark Esports, and, well, we're going to start seeing some tower pressure now coming out here at the bottom lane.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a good kill by him. Early Ghost Marches. Normally you see Zephyrs build up a little bit tanky before that, but Noobg likes to put the aggression on early with those Ghost Marchers, and as a result, got a kill, and so obviously it paid off. Balfagor kind of going in right there, but not really applying any kill pressure by any means, just letting Balfagor know what's up. But 3 players are down here. We got a level 6 Cube of the Forest coming in right now. In fact, Gus and onto Bubbles is going to root first. Oh, he does not. Bubbles gets the shells away. Will be fine, but this tower is definitely going to fall. And Moomiander just basically has to give it up. Absolutely nothing he can do, so really would be silly for him to stick around. But yeah, we're going to already see a tower kill really 6.5 minutes into this game about, and it's going to show in the gold stats. I mean, 3,300 gold lead all of a sudden in favor of the Legion team. Pull up the gold per minute chart. Look at that. Balfagor and Zephyr over 410 gold per minute, both of them, already at this point in the game. So another very strong start for tdM. Now, Torture and Warbeast trying to counter here at the top end in the meantime. We'll see if they can make something happen for Complexity, but the bottom secondary tower is going to start taking some pressure now itself. So this is a very timid spot now here for Complexity. Yeah, Aluna's down here to try to respond, but the power throw is only level 2. Bubbles has a level 2 Shell Surf, but if he does that, he's got to be very careful about getting away right away because they can converge on him. So if he uses that, expect tdM to maybe make a move right there. But the Homecoming Stones are up on both Warbeast and Torture, and that's the most important thing. Of course, Warbeast, unfortunately, won't have mana to even use the Homecoming Stone now that I think about it. So Torture, even if he uses his, he's not going to be able to defend it really that much with low mana. And then they're going to defend this tower, and in the meantime, they're going to push mid.
Wow.
So tdM getting the best of all of those situations.
Yeah, that was very close. In fact, Zephyr going and making the counter. Torture, that Typhoon comes out. Torture doing some sidestepping, and good enough for now. But will he survive? I don't think he is. Haxorin's going to go down. And Trademark Esports has even a bigger lead than they had last game. Early on in this game, already a 5,400 goal lead. Zephyr is farming out of his freaking mind. Noob G, 526 goal per minute. He already has Ghost Marchers. He has a Mystic Vestments, a Life Tube. He's going to have a Helm of the Black Legion sooner than later. Look at all the items on the Courier, actually. In fact, he already has his Helm of the Black Legion. It just needs to be delivered. A Ring of Sorcery going to be finished right here on Keeper of the Forest. Damn. tdM's in a very good spot here.
Yeah, and this is one of the few times I actually think that even though this seems like a trollish style game, I mean, they're still playing it out seriously and playing it well. This is one of the times I disagree with the kind of complexities drafting. I think Tempest would have been way better here than Warbeast. Warbeast is nice and can secure in the late game physical damage, but against what you know is going to be a push strat, yeah. Tempest just seems way better to me. Being able to sit back there in the push strat, they all kind of sit behind a carry, or sorry, not a carry, but a strength hero, and if they all converge, of course, Tempest is always there with a great Black Hole ultimate. So I actually think that Tempest would have been a lot better here.
Oh, here we go again. Torture realizing Haxring says, oh, crap, I'm screwed. He's just going to take the bait right here. He is going to fall. Oh, maybe not. Yep, he's going to fall to the final auto attack. The tower again going down. That is already 4 tower kills here for Trademark Esports. They've only lost the one themselves. We're only 9 minutes into this game. Trademark Esports really taking it to complexity. Aluna, nothing that she can do. She's out of mana. She already used her power, though. This top tower is also going to fall. Complexity in a desperate mode of saying, you know what, we just have to exchange towers at this point. But is that even going to... They're going to have to fall back after the secondary tower kill at the very least. I mean, that thing is going to go down. Now, they will get the middle, but there we go. The bottom tower, I don't know if Moon Meander can stay there long enough to defend it, because here we go at the top lane. Trademark Esports is going to already be pounding on the base now.
Yeah, pre-10-minute push. This is pretty ridiculous. Agonizing Bond Spam is doing a pretty good job right there. But how about this? Remember that tanky metagame we all once loved so much? Well, it looks like it might be coming back, at least in this game.
You're right. I mean, this definitely fits that. I mean, Zephyr, Balfour, Keeper of the Forest, Demented Shaman helping on top of all that. Now, the bottom tower is pushed in by Mumia, or that's actually Warbeast down there. So they are able to get that. The defensive tower at the top lane, it's not going to fall just yet, but it does take a good amount of damage. But I think Trademark Esports says, you know what? Let's just not force it too much just yet. We don't really need to. We can go at least finish off this middle secondary tower before we need to make it happen. However, they go back up top. I mean, look at Balfour, though. Helm of the Black Legion, Plated Greaves, Mystic Vestment, 1,900 gold, actually, on Zephyr as well. What was that? You're laughing?
No, I'm just laughing at how tanky he is.
I thought you saw something. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's insane. I mean, nearly 1,300 life. Again, Zephyr, 1,900 gold saved up. So this tower, it's going to fall here. We do have a Soul. Warbeast pushing at the bottom lane. He may get it, but these racks going to start dropping. But it goes back to, you know, even if Warbeast ports back right now, how useful is he going to be, honestly? I mean, there we go. Rude actually coming out. It's a big chance for the... Oh, the hell on New Earth coming out. The Hellborn team gets decimated right there. Miraxis with the Matrix. He's going to be pulled in, actually, trying to get away. The Typhoon doing so much work. Warbeast jumps in the back, though. Will take out Glacius. And actually, Balfour and Demented Shaman are now on the run. Zephyr realizing that he may need to fall back as well as he is doing so. Bubbles gets away, and the rest of the Hellborn players will be fine. There was a buyback. Bubbles did actually buy back right there. But yeah, you saw the initial burst coming out from tdM. Ridiculous.
Oh my god, that was crazy. Well set up ulti from Keeper of the Forest, and I don't know if he ran in there with his invis next to a tree or something, but he caught a lot of people. The response from Zephyr was fantastic, did a lot of damage, and of course the ultimate from Balfour. And then, yeah, the immediate buyout from Moon Meander, but it wasn't able to really capitalize on top of that, unfortunately. So, wow, this is just an amazing and very fun game to watch, I gotta say.
Yeah, it is. It definitely has some high entertainment value. So if you're tuning in, of course, you're tuning in to Great Cast. And again, if you missed, especially the previous game, it will be on VOD as soon as possible on HoNcast.com. And definitely recommend checking out this series. So we do have a pause here coming out of it. It's apparently Zai playing the Keeper of the Forest. He even lagged out last fight, but hey, apparently he was lagged out after the root because he got a fantastic root off, as he mentioned. Going into it. So hopefully he can come back just fine here, and we'll be able to resume this. But yeah, I mean, already Zephyr and Balfour are so tanky for this point in the game. Just look at the gold that they have saved up on top of it, though. 2,600 gold on Noob G playing the Zephyr, 1,800 gold on Balfour.
God.
Keeper of the Forest has 2,100 gold himself. We're going to see an Astrolabe here most likely. You know, an Abyssal Skull maybe. You know, the Barrier Idol going to be coming up here shortly. It's adding up.
It's going to be awesome. And this is one of those times that I feel like you don't want Blink on Keeper. Like you mentioned, Astrolabe, that's going to be fantastic for their team. You can just sit up there. What burst do they have to really take him down at this point? They don't.
Yeah.
So if you get tanky items like that early on, and you're just used to steamrolling them like very early on, there's nothing that they can do. And you mentioned Warbeast, and I mentioned this too. But I think Tempest would have been much better than Warbeast in general in this game. He is farming well. He's doing some counter pushing, but that's about all he can do at the moment. So until they get some strong initiation, but even then, the only target you can really go on is maybe Glacius or Dishon. But
Yeah.
can you even take them down? I don't know if you can. You're going to have response from all of the heroes. You're going to have heal, presumably on Keeper if he does go for that Astrolabe. But yeah, it's crazy. But the tank metagame, there's a reason why it was so popular for some time, and people forget that, you know, sitting behind some giant tanky heroes with pushing power and lots of healing does actually work.
Yeah. You're right. We definitely went through that for a little bit. It's been maybe 4 or 5 months. I want to see maybe even
Probably
longer.
longer.
Yeah, even longer. Definitely. Actually, now I think about it, but yeah, the Armadon. You know, your Kraken, your Drunken Master, Zephyr, Keeper of the Forest, Balfagor. These really beefy heroes. It really was part of the competitive scene for the longest for a decent amount of time, and like you just kind of saying there, it's for good reason as we're kind of getting a witness here. So it looks like both teams are going to be good to go here, so that's the good news. But maybe you never know. I mean, this is we are on the verge. You know, going into the series, I brought this again. I don't have the exact stat, but it's been a long time since Complexity has lost a series on the competitive scene. At least I want to say at least 3 months. I mean, really, if not more than that. So, and here we are. We're on the verge of them losing to Trademark Esports. And Trademark Esports is if they happen to win this game, you know, with the same style of strategy, maybe that's gonna put some ideas in people's heads.
Yeah.
Especially going into DreamHack. That hold on a second. That maybe there's something that we weren't seeing that all of a sudden we see now. Again, you can argue, you can sit here and argue all you want that whether or not Complexity is putting 110% into this matchup, but
I would say that they're putting more effort into it than tdM is, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is the funny thing. But oh, he does actually go with the Portal Key on Keeper. So they want that initiation to start off with a good chain of effect on top of the Zephyr ultimate and Balfagor ultimate. So I guess that's fine. It's not bad, but I really feel like Astrolabe would have been just a little bit stronger. But nonetheless, what do you know? They grew up here in the top lane. They decided they want to keep the pressure up. They want to keep pushing. And why not when they're up, you know, just about 7K gold 12 minutes in?
Yeah, the tower's dead, and you mentioned this in the last game. With the tower dead, how much easier it makes it.
Yeah.
He could just sit up here now and be in the front lines, not really worry too much. You know, again, he still takes some decent damage, but with the heals that coming out, they can turn this around. We do see the background, though. In charges in Moraxis as well as Warbeast. Complexity trying to make a commitment right here. Balfagor in the midst of it, although has 100 charges. There's the root. There's the Hell on Newerth coming out. Zephyr with the Typhoon, and the Hellborn team starting to fall. Warbeast will go down. Noob G picking up a kill on a Moomiander. In the meantime, Moraxis and Torturer running away. The Regurgitate slowing down Torturer. Will they chase him down? It doesn't look like it, but the melee racks are going to fall right here. The buybacks are not up here for either Chessie or Moomiander. Pulling him back in. Moraxis is somewhat tanky himself, but not able to do nearly enough. They are going to lose a set of racks already up here. Only now, not even 14 minutes into the game. Will tdM stay here or will they fall back? Absolutely ridiculous.
Do we have the resources right now? Actually, in the meantime, Moraxis is still getting some harassment onto him. They do get the racks. They got what they came for. They just need to back off safely together as a team, and they'll be fine. The minions are trying to maybe slow, but they're on some creeps, and they'll be fine. They got what they came for. Huge. Yeah. Can we go back and maybe look at a replay of something? Because that was phenomenal by Zai. What Zai did right there.
Yeah.
Beacon was trying so hard and closing in on Zai playing that keeper. And it looked like he could have been kind of screwed up right there in his positioning and tried to deal with the Moraxis right up in his face, but blinked right past him in the perfect time and caught so many people in an ultimate. It was a gigantic play by Zai.
Yeah, I don't think we have the replay feature set up, unfortunately, right now, but definitely, again, that goes back to just when the VOD is up, and he held even the replay itself in-game.
Oh, it was amazing.
Talk about top plays, that could definitely be up there for sure. So, yeah, if on Complexity... Again, this seems even worse than last game, a lot worse than last game, honestly. And we saw the end result of that game. I don't know. I mean, we're coming up to 15 minutes. I'm not going to say they're going to concede by any means, but their chances, it's definitely not a whole lot of them left. I mean, the last outer tower going to fall now in favor of Trademark coming out right there. So, of course, you know, why not? They're just going to stay gripped up. They're just going to push. The Ring of Sorcery is being used. The heal's coming out. This tower is falling. Warby's not even with them. Again, how much does he even do for the team in the fights right now? Not a whole lot, unfortunately. So this tower is falling quickly. We see a lot of gold being saved up as well. So Chessie's now porting in on Warbeast. When is that initiation going to come take place? Warbeast in the front lines, not going to ulti form just yet. Shell Surf going to be used. No port, though, from Mumiender coming out. That was a decent Kelfield chance, but they figure it's probably not what they're even looking for right now. So,
well, they got to find any opportunity they can before their top starts getting pushed in like crazy. And I know they know that. So, and tdM's just going to play this smartly. They don't have to really rush it right now. They can keep waiting until top gets pushed in.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I know what Complexity would be feeling. It's just the most frustrating thing in the world because there's just nothing that you can do. I mean, you can focus. You have to focus fire down one of the supports, but you're going to be taking so much AoE damage from Zephyr, from Keeper, that it's almost not even worth it.
Offensive Stormcloud landed. They gust him. Morax is right there. He activates the Matrix. Here we go. Balfour on the front lines. Pounding on the tower, and vulnerability is going to come off right there. And again, not going to really use anything too big just yet. The Matrix is going to be coming off right there. Balfour getting got over here. The hell on Newworth coming out. The look of the heel. Bombs coming out as well. Matrix will go down. Or excuse me, we're actually go down. The Hellborn team just decimated. Bubble's going to fall. And ladies and gentlemen, Complexity has lost their first series in forever. Trademark Esports has officially defeated Complexity 2-1 here in the losers bracket, 4th place match. Congratulations to Trademark. Wow. Talk about insane strategies right there.
Insania is insane.
Exactly.
And it's new tdM mastermind, question mark? I mean, it does seem cheesy, guys. On paper, it seems cheesy. They didn't really, like, try to gank. They didn't really fight. They just kind of, literally, they just pub trained. And went as 5 and pushed the base, attacked the buildings. Seems cheesy, but hey, you need to find every way to win. And I think, not on top of this, maybe for Complexity, they're now out of this because this is the losers, correct?
Yeah,
so they're now out of it. If they do, well, it looks like the fake GG was up. Exactly as he just said, decent fake GG. But I think the bigger thing now is now the mind games coming into DreamHack.
Yeah.
What is Complexity going to think? Are we going to actually have to worry about this Balfagor pushing strategy? Do we ban out Balfagor? Like, I think that's going to be the biggest thing, honestly.
Yeah. How's the head of hair feeling, Trough?
Oh, shit.
That just hit you, didn't it? It made me a little bit more worried now. There's the concede vote again.
Oh, shit.
I wonder if that's actually going to pass through this time. But, yeah, tdM coming in right here. There we go. It is 100% official now. Trademark Esports defeats Complexity Gaming. It's been a while since we've said that again, but it just happened. Complexity Gaming officially knocked off here in the HoN Tour Qualifiers losers bracket. And as a result, they finished 4th place, as you were just pointing out right there. So, again, in the big picture, you know, it is what it is. Complexity, they're still in the Diamond Division. They finished 4th place. They still get some decent prize money. They get some decent points. They're going to be in Diamond. You know, it's fine in that sense. It's not the end of the world. The bigger point, though, is what you're just bringing up right there. The mind games now, going into this massive $60,000 DreamHack Winter 2012 event. They just lost to tdM, another team that's going to be there with a lineup, with a strategy that, you know, they really haven't encountered too much lately, and it just worked against them 2 games in a row right there. So, you know, you got to wonder how much of an effect that is going to have in that big main event there.
I think it's going to have a huge effect. I mean, if you're Complexity, you have to find out what's the problem in this lineup. Is it Demented Shaman healing them? Yeah. Is it Balfagor, who's a very unique hero that has lots of pushing power? Is it Zephyr? Because we don't see a lot of these heroes on in the metagame right now. So you have to pinpoint who do you think is the biggest problem in this lineup. And personally, when we talk about all these tank pushing lineups, I always thought it was the healers that were the biggest problem. I always thought it was the healers like Demented Shaman. Because, you know, it's hard to find the best ones. Oh, we see right there the 6-minute delay. Huge play by Zai. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's primarily the heroes. But, yeah, it's the mind games. Coming into DreamHack and trying to realize, oh, my God, we might actually get cheesed by this. What, you know, how are we going to prepare for this? Yeah. Obviously, tdM and Complexity are in different groups, so I'm not going to have to worry about that, at least in the group stages. But if they do advance on, then that's one thing to think about.
If you're other teams out there, you know, you look at this. Yeah. It's so that, you know, it's one thing to say, you know, tdM, whatever, but Orange Esports, you know, these Southeast Asian teams, the LA teams, all these other teams, you know, there's always been the question, how do you defeat Complexity in a tournament atmosphere? Because it hasn't been done in forever, it seems like, here in a best-of-the-3 series at least. tdM just did it. And what do they use? You know, a very aggressive, tanky, heal-style push strategy 2 games in a row. It worked out. So, you know, maybe in the end we are overthinking it. Like, that is possible, too. Maybe in the end, you know, once we eventually get to DreamHack, it's all going to be forgotten. They will stomp against it themselves. But hey, it was fun watching for sure, and it definitely is going to be something to talk about. It gets a lot of discussion going into that DreamHack event. So now let's take a look at the actual brackets here.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, so where do we stand? Look at that. Trademark Esports is moving on.
Shout out to Killer Orange.
Over Complexity. How about that? Of course, they're going to await the loser of the Q Squad Gary Johnson series. And again, unfortunately, I don't really have too much information for you guys as far as that's concerned. So with that said, again, it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. And of course, but like I keep going back to you, so that is going to end coverage here for this weekend.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as things are getting delayed till after DreamHack winter, of course, with the grand finals as well as the losers bracket finals. But what a fun event it has been, man. The biggest thing to really keep in mind, these were just the qualifiers.
I know.
These were just the qualifiers, guys, here. What's been now a month, a little over even. We're going to be going to our first cycle after DreamHack, and that's where things are going to start getting a lot of fun. So we're going to have week in, week out, awesome matches, multiple matches weekly. Going to be a blast. Cannot wait, Trev.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
What a finish we had here, though.
And you're going to have a finals every single cycle, every week and a half or so, and that's going to be awesome. And you're going to be able to gauge who is going to be really the best or who is the best in your mind, because it's going to change up every single week. And I think that's going to be a good point, is to decide in your mind, like, who you think is the best team out there.
Yeah.
So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely know that you were entertained, and if you weren't, well, you need to find a way, because that was one of the more entertaining series we've had in a long time.
Yep.
Here, at least on HoNcast. So, congratulations again, big time to Trademark. And I wonder what my nuts, of course, not being here. I wonder what he thinks. I don't know if he's watching or whatever, but
Chelsea's making a joke to replace my nuts.
Exactly. No, but I'm curious to see his reaction to that. But anyways, that is going to do it for today, guys. So once again, another day of coverage here in the books. A lot of fun as always. But the next time we see you, ladies and gentlemen, it will be at DreamHack Winter 2012.
Sweden.
So, Sweden. Jönköping, Sweden there. Yeah. You started it. We're gonna
hold on.
That's gonna be next week, of course. As far as that's set to start on Thursday, I think it is. Set to start on Thursday. There will be a lot more information for you guys come Monday, I believe, is when the site's going to be going up. The Dream HoN site, actually, which will have a lot of information on it. As far as the broadcast schedule, all the teams that are in it, the breakdown of the prize pool, really any bit of information you're looking for, you can find on that site once it's up. Again, it's set to come up on Monday. So look forward to that, guys. Until then, you have any final words, Trev?
I do. I have a couple final words, Breaky. Here's all for you Swedish people out there. Jag älskar alla, and jag kan inte vänta med att öka till Sverige. Yes. Yes.
That just happened. I can't wait to see the reaction to that and how butchered that was, how awful that was. But, hey, you tried.
I like how I talk in a different tone. Like, I talk like this regularly. When I'm in a different language. Anyway.
Yes. It's been fun.
It's going to be great.
It is going to be great, though. And we look forward to, speaking of that, for those that are Sweden, maybe even planning to go to the van, I'm sure even plenty of viewers tuning in. It's just Sweden, obviously, is a very popular country for watching HoNcast and playing HoN in general. Feel free to, stop by the booth if you are going to be there. Say hi to us, meet all the players and everything. It really is a fun atmosphere being there. And, again, can't wait to be there once again.
Yep.
So, well, that is going to do it, guys. So let's go ahead and start to wrap things up here. So once again, I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tralf Medor as always. You can find this guy at TralfHoN.
And over here at Breaky CPK.
HoNcast, the at HoNcast, HoNcast Facebook, all of that. Shout out to Killer Orange and shout out to you guys for tuning in. We'll see you DreamHack Winter 2012 this next week. Have a good night.